All right, here we are with Miss Rita doing her lefties losing it. Oh my goodness, I love this show because it just shows all the compilation of the lefties losing their minds over everything. In this one, it's also talking about MSNBC host under attack by the lefties because they went to Mar-a-Lago after they've spilled all this rhetoric and spewed it all over and over again about Donald Trump being Hitler and a fascist and every other ist and whatever word you want to call him. Um, it's just funny to see them eat their own, and they need to continue to do it, like calling each other out, and that way they're less bothersome to the rest of us. But let's see here. And I just want y'all to realize how much narcissism there is on the left. I mean, I guess you don't realize it, but I guess because of social media, and I told somebody this the other day, I said, social media makes people think that they're way more important than they are. Yes, I know I'm on here doing a video, but I'm not a narcissist. I don't think everything revolves around me. I mean, I like listening to Miss Rita talk because she's just funny, her takes on everything. But anyway, I, I just I can't sometimes with these people. But anyway, I'll shut up, let her talk because she just has the best takes on everything. Let's check it out.
Good evening and welcome to a program devoted entirely to lefties losing it. Let's start, lefties, with this dose of insanity. I will give this woman credit because she starts off with some honesty. She calls herself unhinged and then proceeds to act like she's unhinged.
Wow. Completely unhinged. I went to the grocery store, and while standing in line, I was trying to guess who voted against my rights.
Her rights, right? Only hers. Only hers. Yeah. I'm going to vote for your best interest, not my own. I mean, yeah, whatever. Yeah. I'm going to vote for like future generations' best interests. That's what I based mine on because I have to worry about the future. I have kids that are grown. I don't have any grandkids yet, but if we continue down the path going down, there's not going to be much of a future for them or for my future grandchildren or for my future great grandchildren. So it's not just you, honey. I'm voting for other people's rights. The only right you care about is being able to kill the child in the womb. That's about it. Nobody's taking your birth control pills away. Trump already said he was sending it back to the states, so I've already said that several times. I'm voting in my best interest because it's actually what's best for actually other people, even this lady, if you want to know the truth. I'm voting for her so she doesn't have to go through socialism or communism because that's what would have been ushered in if we allow the Democrats to continue down the path they're going. They'll start using executive actions, get rid of fracking, so then we no longer have money for the economy like in the oil, gas, whatever. Whatever. Don't. There's a whole lot more to it than just that. But yeah, that's what the Democrats offer you now. But they don't want to see that. It's all about just the reproductive rights and being able to kill babies and whatever else, so they don't have to take responsibility for themselves or anybody else. But yeah, I'll shut up for a minute, but let's play this.
And I couldn't guess anymore. I was out of guesses. Because you're like sheep in wolf's clothing. And I just wanted to scream.
These people are insufferable, and it's wolf in sheep's clothing, not sheep in wolf's clothing. If nursery rhyme themes confuse you, you might explain why you're a lefty. And this next lass thinks she's brave and profound, but personally I find her a little sad and scary.
How's this for a motivational phrase? Our resistance will be talked about for generations.
Terrifying. Yeah. Now, continuing the Trump derangement syndrome theme, let's check in on this young lass who identifies as a lad and decided to get the testosterone molecule tattooed on her neck to resist Donald Trump?
Life is worth living.
How would anybody know what the hell that's supposed to
Why
be?
do that? I mean, do you want to be unemployable? I'm stating the obvious here, but real men don't need to get testosterone molecules tattooed prominently on their bodies because, you know why? They've got that XY chromosome. We all have testosterone, but us ladies are lacking the Y, and no amount of ink is going to change that. Now to a young lady who thought she was going to be a fixture in the White House. This is the 23-year-old daughter of Tim and Gwen Walls.
Oh, boy.
Walls.
This country does not deserve Kamala Harris. That woman should go live her best life wherever she wants, doing whatever she wants, because we don't deserve her at this point.
I agree with that. America doesn't
Thank
deserve
God.
Kamala. It deserves a lot better, and that's why
And thank God we don't
voted
have.
for Donald.
Thank God we don't have Gwen Walls as the whatever the second lady or whatever Tim's vice president. Yeah, Tim Walls' wife. Oh my goodness, have you seen her eyes? They're like the crazy eyes. Just the things she even said during the BLM riots with tires burning and all that stuff. The little lady's nuts. And then this kid. Oh, good. We dodged a major bullet with this family and that candidacy. Oh boy. Anyway.
Trump, and they're getting better with Trump and Vance. It's good when we can all agree, isn't it? Now, listen as Hope Walls, like all lefties losing, it shows she's full of hate and loathing while claiming to be all about love and tolerance.
These people have to live in their own skin, as in JD Vance and Donald Trump have to be JD Vance and Donald Trump. And that is not a punishment I would wish upon anybody except those two individuals. Yeah, so I'm just really grateful that I am who I am and that I'm on the side of love and hope and joy and progress.
Oh, gosh, she's not new to activism. Journalist Andy No reports that during the deadly BLM Antifa riots in her state in 2020, Hope leaked information about the National Guard to inform rioters when to disperse. But I have some good news here. Hope Walls has finally taken care of her personal hygiene and had a shower and brushed
gross.
her teeth. How do I know this? Because she posted about it. Really?
This morning I woke up and decided I needed to take a shower, and so I finally did that, and I did my skincare for the first time in a couple days, and this is very embarrassing, but I brushed my teeth for the first time since Tuesday night.
Now to the lunatic race-baiting network of MSNBC, which has seen its primetime audience plummet by around 50%. They've gone from airing diabolical lies to the sort of slander that could and should get them sued. And I really do hope Pete Hegseth calls his lawyers after seeing this.
And the Secretary of Defense nominee, Peter Hegseth, the Fox News commentator as well, because this is someone who, weekend host, important distinction. This is someone who, is known to be a white supremacist, known to be an extremist, whose platform, whose book is basically about his opposition to the advancement of Black officers to the top brass.
Absolute lies, the ugliest of lies. I really do hope he sues. And over at CNN, they're trying to scare the American people about Trump, but they just end up making him look even cooler.
And it really looks like ancient Rome here. This is sort of the conquering Republican Caesar who's going into the Colosseum and everyone's cheering, and he's got his political gladiators with him. that appearance isn't just about him enjoying the applause. He's sending a message to the Senate.
For sure.
Like, not only are you entertained, but these are my people, and are you willing to fight? Because here's who I have.
And are any of us surprised by this? I feel like for anybody who has been covering Trump's campaign or his movement the past few years, these picks, sure, they're raising eyebrows, to say the least, but
Familiar character.
Yes, exactly. They've been with him at all these rallies. They've played a key role in where he's at now.
She's 100% right. You know, these picks may have surprised a few people, but they're backed 100% by just about every Trump voter because they knew this was coming. These are the people he's had around him. And the moment that we're talking about there is this. We're about to look at it. Trump entering Madison Square Garden for UFC 309 and hearing the thunderous applause. He walks in with Elon, Tulsi, RFK, and the rest of the crew. Let's hear from a lefty losing it election oracle, presidential predictor Alan Lichtman got it very wrong when he said Kamala would win the election, and like lefties losing it everywhere, he prefers to blame misinformation, also known as facts he doesn't like. Watch this
Facts he doesn't
meltdown.
like.
It
Oh
is
boy.
delicious.
And that's directly tied to misinformation. You know, they don't like Trump, but, you know, they're
Did
thinking,
Donald
well,
Trump
do
not
we
pick
really
up more votes this time than he did in 2016?
Sorry, pardon me?
Did Donald Trump pick up more votes this time than he did in 2016?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Or in
but not
2020?
that he picked up in 2020, the most relevant last election. He picked up about
I think
the
what
same.
I'm saying is that
Let me
both
finish.
sides
Let me
can say
finish.
things like this, like misinformation. It's hard
If
to
you don't let me
quantify
make my
that.
points, why do you have me
They're
on?
No,
inconvenient
we love it.
facts.
It's a conversation. It's spirited. I think there's a
All
little
right,
bit of a
we're
delay.
done. We're done.
I
You
think
don't
we'd love
let me talk. What's the point?
you
Are
can
you
go.
the expert or am I the expert?
He's the expert. Did you
Wow.
hear him? Imagine saying that during an interview while you discuss why you got it so wrong. We've heard the lefty meltdowns from the usual suspects on MSNBC, CNN, ABC, CBS, all of them. They're blaming sexism and racism. They should all take some sage words of advice from a fellow lefty, Charles Barkley, the former NBA star, gives Democrats some sensible guidance, which they'll no doubt ignore.
He's the president of the United States, and I wish him nothing but the best. But we lost. And I just want to say this to the Democrats, which I'm an independent who voted Democratic. Do me this favor. Shut the up. When you win, you get to say what you want to. When you lose, you need to shut the up. We
Oh
still
my
haven't
gosh.
solved the immigration problem, have no viable answers, never addressed inflation, bringing all these stupid stars out
Sorry.
to rally the vote. What was that? You guys lost because y'all stupid.
Yes, you guys lost because you're stupid, and so your policy is like supporting confused kids having puberty blockers and irreversible surgeries. Here is comic Rob Schneider schooling a young lefty who's losing it about the absurdity of so-called gender-affirming care.
I want to bring up the issue with trans in schools. I do think children should be allowed to have that knowledge on if they want to transition on what they want to do.
If I have a boy and he thinks he's a pirate, do I have the right to cut off his knee and take an eye out and give him an eye patch?
I think once it gets to that certain point.
A certain point? Like, what's the point where I can cut off my son's knee and say, because he thinks he's a pirate?
I think that's purely between the parent and the child.
Well, I don't think a parent should be allowed to do that.
You should have the option to go be educated and then still go and make the choice that you want to make.
Okay,
After
not
you
at
give that
14.
information.
If you are under 25 years old, they don't even let you rent a car in this state. What does Avis, Enterprise, and Hertz know that the medical establishment seems so blissfully ignorant about? You are not a good decision maker at 14. You turn 18, you cut off any part you want, and I hope that you don't.
You know, this segment proves the left are ripe for mocking. Comedians should have no shortage of material, but the overwhelming majority are too gutless or just too ideological to tackle the many issues the left present them, but not this next group.
Happy
Mom, Dad, I told you I have a girlfriend. I'm straight.
Sweetheart, Carol, no son of mine will be straight. Sweetheart, I know that you are young and you are confused, and all your little perverted friends on the internet have told you that being straight is cool. But the first day of Pride is not the time. You are not my son. All life, I picture myself sitting on the couch with my son watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills,
Oh
and
my
he's
gosh.
taking that from me.
No, you know what? No one can take that from you. He is in there somewhere. Our son is somewhere inside of that golf playing, beer drinking demon. Look at her in the eyes. She does not deserve that.
Look at Lady Gaga.
Today is the first day
Lady
of Pride.
Gaga.
I have made you this cake.
Gaga.
Your
What the heck?
grandmother is downstairs and she has gotten a new mesh crop top. You will wear it today with a smile on your face.
Great skit and much funnier than what Saturday Night Live comes up with nowadays. Did you catch their latest work? It is so dangerously unfunny. It should come with a cringe warning.
You've got another jacked king here to see you, RFK Jr. Bobby.
He should be canceled.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to tell you again, I'm so honored to be the head of the Health and Human Services Department. Americans need someone to teach them how to be healthy. Someone like me, a 70-year-old man with movie star looks and a worm in his brain. I love you. I can't wait to see what you do with this country in terms of health and with regard to measles outbreak.
That's enough, please, enough. And that is the best of it. That was the highlights that the Saturday Night Live team posted on X. Isn't it funny how the lefties are okay now with poking fun at someone's voice when we all know RFK Jr. suffers from a chronic neurological disorder that impacts his voice? It's called spasmodic dysphonia. At least be funny if you're going to mock his medical condition. And let's check in now with the ladies who watch The View. They're upset again and they have a warning. They're unleashing Woke 2.0.
If you thought we were woke before, you done went and woke the beast. Welcome
honey,
to Woke 2.0.
Remember, we're in the majority now, sweet thing. I mean, even though you're probably ugly on the inside, because obviously it's coming out of your face. And your outside is not that great, but whatever. You just know that the American people are spoken and they said no. So, okay. You keep playing that game, you fiddle around and find out.
Now, we've seen the meltdown from the MSNBC Morning Joe team, Joe and Mika. They have embarrassed themselves over and over again. Here is Joe Scarborough on Election Day.
We still have an electorate, 70 million plus, that will be voting for a man who said he was going to assassinate for treason the chairman of the Joint Chiefs because he didn't support him on January the 6th, who said just in recent days he was going to execute Liz Cheney with a firing squad, 9 guns pointed and shooting at her face. A man who has said that he was going to shut down CBS because he didn't like how they edited an interview. A man who's...
Yes, again, look at this face. Ugh. You just want to punch her because she's just nasty.
Said he was going to be a dictator from day one, a man who said he was going to terminate the Constitution, a man who said he was going to use the army and he was going to use the National Guard on his political opponents.
Just absolutely hysterical, demented. And it's not just him. The rest of the MSNBC crew have practically declared a fatwa on Trump. They have since 2016. I could literally play you hours of tapes of just Joe. But here's just a teeny tiny taste of the craziness from Scarborough. And of course, it includes Hitler talk. Have a look at what he says before the election and then see if you can detect the change of tone after the election. And funnily, he's wearing the same outfit in both clips.
An autocrat who decides to be a dictator on day one, who decides to arrest all those who he doesn't like, who's talked about assassinating generals that aren't sufficiently loyal to him, has complained to his chief of staff that his generals should be more like Hitler's generals. Seems to make sense for leaders of both parties to seek common ground, if it's possible at all.
No common ground. No. Y'all trash Trump this entire time with the help of the media. No, there's no way to find common ground with these people. They want to act stupid, don't even engage them.
I'll tell you, a lot of Democratic leaders we've talked to this past week since the election
Yeah,
told
right.
Mika and me it's time for a new approach.
No.
I can't get enough of the humiliation ritual MSNBC host Joe and Mika are subjecting themselves to, proving to their dim-witted audience that they are utterly unprincipled, unscrupulous. Let's have another look at the sort of things they were saying before the election and what they're saying now.
And then he says that the news network that is most critical of him should be taken off the air. This is not a reach. I could go back and talk about Nazi Germany, and I do it without any concerns whatsoever. And if people can't start drawing the parallels, well, you're just stupid, or you have your head in the sand, or you're one of them.
You're one of them, yes. That was before the election, but now they've met with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago, a meeting they begged for. Yes, they begged to meet the man that they likened to Hitler.
We would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself. On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that. Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump.
And it should surprise no one that the View's Sunny Hostin had a big problem with Joe and Mika normalising Donald Trump, you know, normalising the guy who just won the election in a landslide.
And I don't think you need to sit down for 90 minutes.
Well, and see, that kind of goes along in my mind as far as humanizing him, or what, I can't even remember what the word she just used, but normalizing him, humanizing him. I believe that's how the podcast, when Trump went on to all these different podcasts like Joe Rogan, Aiden Ross, there's some other guy named Alex. There were several of them that he went on. And besides going on to some of these news outlets that were kind of contradictory to him, or whatever you want to call it, I think that showed the human side of him. You know, these people have like a large audience, and they're able to reach young people, older people, men, women. I mean, they have like vast reach. And so I believe that by him going on all those podcasts, and I think he should continue to do it throughout his presidency, that he needs to continue showing up for those kinds of things, because the news media is always going to say something negative about him. But I think him going on to that kind of stuff humanizes him, shows that he's like a normal guy. Yeah, he gets a little off topic, what he calls the weave, but he's funny. I mean, he honestly, when you listen to him on these podcasts and stuff like that, he's actually funny, charming. He knows how to talk. I mean, yeah, he does repeat certain things. Maybe he embellishes or whatever, goes off what you consider topic, but then he comes right back to it. So I think he should continue that route, because the news is going to constantly slander him and talk bad about him. But anyway, let's listen to this idiot from The View. I think she needs to be canceled. If you haven't seen it, I put a post up of Sunny's outside and then her inside, and it basically is a picture of Satan. But yes, let's listen to this race baiting, miserable former attorney who continues to slander and then has to give a legal note on the show. But anyway, go look for those clips. I've seen them on Instagram and probably even Twitter. But yeah, dumb, just dumb.
Minutes at Mar-a-Lago and kiss his ring to be able to speak truth and to be able to cover a story. So maybe they're not journalists in the true sense. Maybe they're saying that they're opinion
just like what you are,
but
an
we
opinion
have to remember
journalist.
that Trump is the guy who ushered in the era of fake news.
Meow. Hear that, Mika and Joe Scarborough? You two aren't real journalists. And Sonny, Donald Trump did not usher in the era of fake news. He was just the one to call out your lies and activism, masquerading as journalism.
Yeah.
Like the fake news you spread about Matt Gaetz in recent days, which resulted in this apology earlier today.
Sonny, you have a legal note. I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi.
Look at her face.
Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
Not sure how sincere that sour-faced apology was from Sonny. Maybe Matt Gaetz should demand another one until she gets it right. And if you want to know why Matt Gaetz scares them so much, then have a look at this. Whether he's questioning the Secretary of Defense about his dud predictions or berating fellow politicians for being owned by lobbyists, Matt Gaetz is fearless.
You guys told us that Russia couldn't lose. You told us that the Taliban couldn't immediately win. And so I guess I'm wondering, what in the $773 billion that you're requesting today is going to help you make assessments that are accurate in the face of so many blown calls?
His face.
I take no lecture on asking patriotic Americans to weigh in and contribute to this fight from those who would grovel and bend knee for the lobbyists and special interests who own our leadership, who have, boo all you.
Speaking of lobbyists, there's a book that y'all need to check out. It's called Mafia Democracy by Michael Francis. Man, he goes through and talks about all the different politicians that have gotten in trouble for like insider trading, lobbying, and all this other stuff, or like being paid by lobbyists. I mean, it just really goes in a lot of detail on some of these people and how they go from $175,000 a year to like millions of dollars. Some of them leave the political realm and then go into these lobbying firms, or they start working for consulting firms, you know, and it's still just a way to enrich themselves because they learn how to basically go through all the legal loopholes, because a lot of them are attorneys, so they figure out the gray area. You know, we just don't cross this line, but we'll toe it. We'll just kind of step on that line, maybe just a teeny tiny edge of it, and see how they can make some more money. Because I like it said that the cost of living, and according to this book, is so high around the DC area that some of them don't make enough to have a home, not pay for that over, you know, obviously you pay mortgage every month, but a lot of them can't afford the mortgages in that area because I don't know what their home prices are. I know in Texas we have quite a few home prices. It ranges, but I don't know about there. But anyway, I don't really care. I'm just saying you should read that book if you're into the political stuff. I think it's eye-opening, and it's only like 202 pages. So I would check it out. And he's a former mobster, so he kind of compares how the government's run to the way that that the mob was run. Anyway, I just think it's a pretty cool book. So yeah, let's listen.
Who have hollowed out this town and have borrowed against the future of our future generations. I'll be happy to fund my political operation through the work of hardworking Americans, $10 and $20 and $30 at a time, and you all keep showing up at the lobbyist fundraisers and see how that goes for you.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun now with a couple of
No wonder
lefties
people don't like
losing it, protesting Donald
Washington,
Trump.
D.C.
But just don't ask them to explain why they're protesting. That's where their bold, brave activism falls apart.
How important are women's rights? More important than yours and mine. What rights do men have that women don't? I think I'm done here today, guys.
Oh, yes.
What rights do men have that women don't?
Ew, gross. Doesn't that sum up the modern anti-Trump left? Just angry, ill-informed attention seekers. And it's not new. Not only are these anti-Trump weirdos angry and full of bile, they're also massive hypocrites. They will even abuse the minorities they pretend to care about if those minorities think for themselves and vote accordingly.
Wow.
Remember this charming woman? Here's a little throwback to a white lefty woman losing it at Latino voters because they're backing Donald Trump.
These are voters who are either illiterate, they can't read. They are voting for an like Trump. That's why I'm here.
Isn't it their right to vote who they want for too?
And it's my right to tell them they're idiots. Ignorant, illiterate, they can't read, they can't assess. All they do is watch Fox News. That's their whole experience. And know that they hate Cuba and Castro. It's ridiculous.
Do you support Cuba?
Yes, I do.
You think that they're communists?
Yes, I do. I'm a socialist.
And Republicans.
Oh boy, she supports that stuff. Oh my God. That's why I say the Democrat Party is no longer the Democrat Party of like the 1960s. They've gone so far from that. I mean, they have gone into this whole socialist, communist, globalist, Marxist nonsense. They're no longer about working for the people. They want to control you as much as possible with all the regulations and everything else. I mean, there's just so much more to it than that, but that's just simplifying it because there's too much. It's like, they want to distribute wealth across the board, but they're going to take it from somebody else. And who in their right mind is going to allow the government to just take in something without force? I'm saying that's the only way I feel like at this point that they could do it is with force. But, whatever.
Republicans should pray that their political opponents remain as dumb and irrational as the likes of the Washington Post's Jennifer Rubin. Here she advises the Democrats to double down on that hate and hysteria to win.
And you have to be pithy. What do I mean by pithy? How about this? Republicans want to kill your kids.
What?
It's actually true. If you're going to oppose vaccinations, if you're going to stop breakthrough medical research.
There you go. Republicans want to kill your kids. A winning strategy there for the Democrats. Let's hope they listen to her. Can you believe what has become of the once respected Washington Post? And he's back. Here is trans activist Jeff Marsh with more family-friendly advice, sure to turn a confused lefty into a really sad and lonely lefty.
Hi, this is a series about cutting off your Trumpy family members.
Oh my goodness.
Why do you need to be perfect? Why do you need to consider everyone's feelings and make sure everyone is okay in the situation and watch what you say and say it perfectly and say it right? Wow.
I think we need to open the asylums back up. I'm just going to throw that out there. Yes, we've got too many of these strange cats in the world. I just think, yes, make mental health essential again.
Hey, you get to say whatever. You get to be racist.
And the fallout from MSNBC's Morning Joe duo, Joe and Mika visiting with Trump, continues. The lefties are fighting among themselves, folks. Grab the popcorn and enjoy. Here's Rosie O'Donnell laying into her fellow lefties, calling
that's
them
why somebody's
despicable.
there. It's a different compilation.
So Mika and Joe went down to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring.
Oh boy.
It's the last time I ever watched Morning Joe. Period. End of statement.
Okay, cool.
Unreal.
Nobody watched that crap anyway.
For months you were telling us he's the worst thing that could happen in this country and democracy. And then you go kiss his ring.
Ugh.
Despicable.
That dude aged real bad.
Despicable you. Both of you.
So much fun. Let's hear now from a grief counsellor who wants to help those dealing with grief in the holiday period.
Oh my
I think
goodness.
holidays are some of the toughest times after we've had a loved one who's died. So I hope these tips will help you move through this challenging time. So Thanksgiving, there is this sense of it's got to be an amazing Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving is about to get, togetherness. And first of all, Thanksgiving is a made-up holiday.
Oh boy.
It's
one
actually
of
about
those.
how we took a country away from Native Americans. So just remember that.
What did he say? That's what passes for advice from a grief counsellor. Don't worry about missing your loved ones or cherished holidays because colonization.
Yes, yeah, like I said yesterday, I think I see now, but yes, I guess it is kind of some of the same clips. But anyway, it's like I said yesterday, then I suggest that dude goes to work on Thursday because if it's a made up holiday, you don't get to take the time off. Just go on into work, do what you would normally do, you weirdo. Ugh, people. These people just, they just give you so much content, but they also, it's hard to like listen to them because you're like, where the heck do you come up with this? What's wrong with your mind when you're thinking this way?
Really? You've been the type to berate American Indians for not being offended by the Redskins or for overwhelmingly voting for Donald Trump. Yes, those figures are right, according to NBC exit polls.
Wow.
The group with the highest percentage of support for Donald Trump was American Indians, with 65% backing President Trump, only 34% voting for Kamala Harris. Now, we've already played you a clip of lefty election forecaster Professor Alan
I can't
Lichtman
listen to this guy
having
again.
a meltdown.
Anyway, guys, that's good enough. Let me see if I can pull up this one picture that I have on my YouTube page. So it came in at 1. Let's see. I put a post up this morning. Oh, where's it at? It's my community thing. Hold up. Let me see. Oh, there you go. It says if you could see Sunny Austin's inside the view. Or excuse me, the view allows those women to spew the most vile subjects every day. And it says cancel Sunny, cancel the view. So here's Sunny Austin from the outside and then inside. Don't you see the resemblance around the nose? The eyes. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I don't have a very big following, but I like to post these videos because these people are so ridiculous. Anyway, I will talk to y'all later. I may look for some more videos to post. I hope y'all have a good Saturday, and I'll talk to y'all soon enough. See ya. Bye.